So the first thing you're going to notice when you pick up the phone is the fact that it's really big, especially if you're used to the Nexus 1 as I am and the iPhone, which are those two are both similarly sized. This is definitely a big step up. It feels really big in my hand. I'm told that I'll get used to it in a day or two, at which point I won't be able to go back. We'll see if that's the case. That said, the screen looks really, really good. The colors pop, the text is really crisp, and most important, I find that when I'm browsing a web page and reading, I find that the large screen just makes it a much more pleasurable experience. I don't feel like I'm getting an inferior version of the page the way I would when I'm reading on my Nexus 1, for example. Now, the next big change you're going to notice is at the bottom of the phone. Now, older versions of Android had 4 dedicated buttons that were always down here, and you had the search button, the home button, the menu button, and the back button. So back and home are obviously still here, and they do the same thing. This new button right here is one that was introduced in Honeycomb, and it's a task or an app switcher, which lets you scroll between applications you've recently used, and if there are any you're not going to be using anytime soon, you can click them away. Now, the 2 buttons that are no longer here are search and the dedicated menu button, and to compensate for that, Android's got some differences that have been incorporated into the applications themselves. So you'll notice, for example, when we go to Maps. Now, we'll typically find that there's going to be a search option at the top of the screen or an easily accessible search button that's incorporated in what's called the action bar, which are these menu options that are at the bottom or the top. The bottom line is that things are usually easier to find, and for those options that you don't need to use as frequently, Android has this new symbol. It's 3 vertical dots, which let you dive a little bit deeper. But again, this is going to be a little more apparent than it would have been had it been relegated to a dedicated menu button at the bottom. So there's another really cool feature. It's one of these things that you didn't wish you wanted until you had it. So I've got an incoming phone call right here, and obviously I'm doing something sort of important. So if I flick up, I can access these pre-written text messages. I'll say, "I'll call you later." I just sent that person a text message, and I can continue doing this, which is pretty nifty. This is actually one of my favorite features that Android has now. All right, so now I'm going to show off some of the improvements that have been made to voice transcription, which now lets you pause as you're speaking. So watch this. I tap the microphone button, so now I can just say a few words at a time. Then I can think about it, period. All right, so this is the new photo application, which features tap to zoom. So you can tap on the guy who's close, and then you see the office backdrop. Perhaps more important is the fact that photos can be taken really quickly. So just tap on the button, and it's taking a snapshot for every one of those taps with almost no lag. So that's pretty good. And you've got digital zoom. There we go. And now you guys have the inside look at the AOL office. I have no idea what this guy is, but we just found him on my desk.